one of the topics that really intrigues me and just connects me to your channel is the not knowing the part of yourself, and the part that you suppress, and just
So you want to
things
talk
you
more about
project
that?
on. Yeah, let's talk more about that. I really like that topic. You know,
All right, let's go.
yes,
All right, so where you want to start with it?
yeah. So like I read stuff on like Carl Jung, his psychology and all that, and
Right,
what really fascinates me is the things that he talks about when you have this shadow of yourself,
right.
um, and that you hide and project stuff onto things that you want to see in yourself, but you see onto other people. Let me hear what you have to say about that. You know what I'm saying?
So the shadow self, right,
Yeah.
is, and I like to talk about things in a way that if people in here don't know who Carl Jung is, or like you may have found him like through Jordan Peterson, or amongst that stuff like Frederick Nietzsche and all that. So with the whole idea of the shadow self, a lot of that is related to like Zen Buddhism and like that spiritual side of things. So when it comes to that whole idea of what is suppressed, like what's in that shadow, you say, "Yo, I appreciate the 2 months." Look, yeah, yo, appreciate the 2 months. That simply comes from the idea that we separate the good and the bad, and that when it comes to being good, there's a sort of mental feeling to that. That if we feel that there is bad in us, that we are completely bad. That's my belief on that. Like people form that shadow, or people project things on other people that they hate or dislike, but they dislike it for a reason, and they might not have the self-awareness enough to see it in themselves or see that they have that in common. But the reason that they do that is because if they saw it in themselves, they would then have to now look at themselves in the mirror and be like, "Oh shit, I'm not perfect. Oh shit, like I'm not the best person. I'm not always good. You know what I'm saying? I might have gave that homeless guy $5, but I was mad at my mom this morning, or I wanted to whatever. You know what I'm saying? And when you begin to accept that, or let's talk more about when you don't accept that. When you don't accept that, you're never whole. Because the part of yourself that's missing is that the natural you, the you which can see itself holistically. Because if you never acknowledge something, if you always push it away and you always reject the idea of it, then it would never be able to be fully observed. It will never be fully present, and then you cannot now collaborate it with who you are entirely. So it's like you just push it to the side, and it's like, but it's still a part of you. You know what I'm saying?
For some people, they don't even know or aware or just even conscious that they have that shadow sides in themselves. So if they can't love themselves wholly and just fully, they can't love somebody else or
And
be.
guess what? I would even argue a part of them knows. A part of them knows. A part of them, right? Because the saying, you throw a brick at a pack of dogs. The dog that barks or yelps is the dog that got hit, right? So when you think of the shadow self, and it's like you can't see it, it's a shadow. You know what I'm saying? It's the part of you that you neglect, you push away, whatever. But a lot of the times, people's shadows, or that shadow version of themselves, has a bitter undertone to it. So for example, if I'm arrogant, or if I'm like, if a part of me is truly cocky or conceited, then when somebody else is conceited or when somebody else is arrogant, I will hate them for it. But I don't even know why. Why don't I hate them more than, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because a part of myself is arrogant, but I'm telling myself that that's wrong. So when I see somebody else do something that I think is wrong, it triggers me harder. So that dog on the inside gets hit.
I feel that.
So they might not even realize, they might not be aware, but that dog getting hit, so it's barking, it's yelping.
Yeah. And to just pinpoint that was something else. You know,
Vods
people
check.
have these egos. You know, these huge inflated egos that, you know, they have from their past, and they um just identify with themselves in the present moment.
I mean, no,
You know,
them people, man. You know, that's a time bomb waiting to explode.
hmm
That's a special case. I don't think people talk about that enough. You know what I'm saying?
we know
People that had like a hell of a run. They was the shit in high school, or you know, that like you said, that ego got inflated from their entire life, or whatever it may be. What aspect of their life inflated that ego?
whatever.
And they might have thought they was at, excuse me, the top of the world, and that
Mhm.
ego became their personality. It became everything about them. But that shit get popped after life, or they are now in a circumstance where that part of themselves, which was inflated, so it made it seem like it was all of their selves, is now taken away. So now those people crash the hardest. Let me fix my camera. Those people crash the hardest.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say I feel bad for nobody, but like on some real shit, those are the people you gotta check on years later. Cause I'm not even laughing, because the only reason which their limited amount of sight could see to live is now taken away. So now they're behind. They're actually behind. So where everybody else was awkward and nervous and didn't really know what they had going on in life, that person thought they had it all. They thought they had everything. They was confident, cocky, and they were getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Because the more you inflate something, the more it rises. And then bam, you pop it, and now they fall harder and hit the ground harder than the average person would. Hold on, Chad. Let me fix the camera. I'm still spitting though, even though this bitch frozen. No, you can keep talking though. Bro. I'm about to fix it.
Yeah. And I feel like with that too, you know, just the media, social media, you know, what you hear from other people, and as what we said, what you think as good or bad, uh, you know, evil, this, bad, that is just, you know, what we hear from other people, and we like to take it and run with it, other people's opinions, and we just hear it, take it in, and, you know, we want to live with what they say.
Yeah, that's normal.
So,
That's normal. That's something that will never be changed ever. You know what I'm saying? The masses are always going to be the masses. Why? I don't know. I've never thought about that. I've never thought about. I've always thought about the how, right, and the why. But I've never thought about the fact that is so embedded in our like human nature and like behavior. Is that like some people just like leadership to them, they're not meant to be leaders. Like, however, we like to put leaders on a pedestal and think leaders are better than other people, so that to some people that's like, I'll never be a leader. No, but it's like literally a part of our human nature that some people just this is like the majority people would prefer that others do the hard work for them. Others do, right. Or think about the fact that like a higher IQ is like more rare. Like it's more rare because it's like if it was needed in our biological pool, then it would shift towards that. But it's showing like as humans, well, we don't need averagely high intelligence. Well, tall height. Well, it's not common for a human to be super tall, so we don't need that to survive. So our genetics don't really shift that way. But most people, it's like it seems to be accepted in like our entire human biology that leadership is select and rare. The problem is though that with social media, right? Anything anything is easy. Anything is so easily accessible that back in the day, let's say we had a tribe or a community. So let's say a tribe had 100 people, and this leader might have been chosen. At least the leader chosen and the tribe's influence is all inner community. But with social media, the influence is just coming from everywhere. The app might be from another country. Your country is putting its influences on the app. The original countries is putting their influences on the app. People are trying to make $1 because it's so lucrative to be on these apps. Your attention span is now dragging you back to listen to these apps because it's much easier to learn something in a 60-second video than it is to read a 300-page book. So it's like, I don't know, it's just really a recipe for disaster, man. But it's like feeding into our regular human nature.
Yeah, I feel like people are more so losing their ways of life, their just natural traditions that our ancestors used to live by. But now it's just we want to follow and just have someone to look up to instead of ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right. And then even on top of that, just like you said, when you this is another thing too. And like I said, this is how my mind thinking of, so I'm just thinking out loud. A lot of times when men be like, I don't want a woman over a certain age or a woman with this amount of experience, because she's harder to influence. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to put my blueprint on her and my plan on her. Well, that's for a reason. Go back to what you said about leading yourself. If you are independent, dependent on what's within, right? Independent. In order for me to get you out of if that shit works for you, if being independent works for you, it is much harder for me to get you to depend on me. Because you have built a certain strength of independence. So I cannot come weak. Now some examples of people, they've passed like an influenced limit, right? Like they're just like, they become you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing, but like, so like that's a different level, right? But the level I'm talking about is where that independence has taught them, like, okay, I can depend on myself, I can take care of myself or whatever. So if now I'm going to depend on you, you got to show me that you can lead me better than I have for myself. Well, if you can't, why should I take you serious? Because what happens is if I depend myself on you and I'm vulnerable, I take the consequences for that fucking decision. So I don't mind it, you know what I'm saying, if a woman has gone through certain experiences or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, and she has different guidelines and structure or whatever that is, as long as it's not unrealistic, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's not like it is immovable, like it could just never be changed. You know what I'm saying? I respect having a standard. Like, you ain't gonna come in with no weak bullshit. You ain't gonna impress me with money. You're not gonna impress me with status. Impress me with something that means something to me, or that's relevant to leading my life. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that regular bullshit where she's like, oh, fuck all guys, I don't trust no men, and I'll never listen to a man. That's trauma. That's pain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just can't lose myself in someone else. That's my own thing. You know, I just gotta have my connection with myself. Like you said, communicating with yourself. You know, being able to communicate with yourself, and being able to do that with people. Yeah.
Right. Because if you can't talk to the closest person to you, what makes you think you can talk to another human being?
Right. And that's why, because I mean, to be straight up and just to come up front, I've had troubles with myself really in the past with like, how can I put it?
Put it how it's already put.
So I say, I'm in ninth grade right now. I'm a high schooler, so early
Nigga sound
in
like he 30.
yeah, but yeah, I get that all the time, but shit, it is what it is. But nah, I say, back in elementary and shit, I just didn't want to be myself. I always want to be with this person, do this with this person, and um, just want to do what the other person was doing, and I just feel like shit if I couldn't do it myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so that's why this topic really like resonates with me and connects with me because, as you can see from my profile picture, the black is on the hugging the white and shit like that. But yeah,
No, that's tough.
yeah,
All right, so I'm gonna hop in the next call. You know what I'm saying? Give other people chances. No, this is a W call though. W call. You definitely ahead of the game, man. Definitely ahead of the
appreciate it.
game. You know what I'm saying? Set the bar for your peers, dog. You know what I'm saying? Ninth grade where dudes are gonna be falling in love for no reason, having no standard, just doing whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Set the bar, man.
No, appreciate it. So, hey, dojo to the moon, man.
To the
Stream y'all.
motherfucking moon. You know what it is, man.
So is he?
All right, brother. W card, Chad. Nigga say he 14. What are they putting in y'all motherfucking apple juice?